Good morning here from Palm Springs. Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times and Aspiring Magazine. And I'm so glad to have our guest here today talking about his short film. And I'm going to have him introduce himself. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Robin Takao D'Oench. I'm a writer-director based in Los Angeles and originally from New York City.
Great. Thank you so much, Robin. FIRELINE, the project that we're talking about today, it follows inmate Otto Reyes as he grapples with the challenges of prison life and his desire to connect with his daughter against the backdrop of a forest fire. After being denied parole, Otto, who is one of hundreds of prison inmates enlisted to battle California's woodland fires, desperately tries to call his daughter on the phone while his crew combats a fire. Amidst the chaos of the field, an accident forces him to confront the true extent of his obligations. The film highlights the pivotal role played by prison laborers in California's firefighting efforts. We're going to try not to give away too much of the film, so our readers, and our viewers will be able to see this without too much of the plot. Um, but Robin, this this is powerful stuff. How did you come up with the story, and what was your inspiration?
So about a year ago, I was in New York, and I don't know if you remember, there was this day that the sky turned this bright, vibrant orange, and the air tasted like ash, and your eyes burned just from being outside. And for many of us who are from New York, we had never experienced anything like this. And what it was a wildfire from Canada had blown down all the way to New York, and it was just this moment of we are now living in a new we now have a new relationship with our climate and our environment, and it was at that exact same time that I was writing a screenplay for Indeed's Rising Voices, and they were looking for a vision of the future of work. And I took inspiration from Chinese American railroad workers, indentured servants, and an entire American labor system that stems from slavery, and wanted to explore what that looked like in a modern context. And so inmate firefighters was that intersection between climate and labor.
Is service as a firefighter by these men voluntary? Do the inmates earn credits toward parole by fighting fires?
So yes, yes, yes and no. So in the sense that this is a volunteer program, that it's a work program that if you have less than 5 years on your sentence and you have the points within the system, you can volunteer for this program. And what it is, the reason a lot of people will volunteer, men, women, and even juveniles, is that the incentives to join are the food is better. The and that's what everyone will say. The first thing they'll say is the food's better. Um, you get outdoors time, so you're allowed to spend up to 23 hours outside versus I'm sorry, you're allowed to spend unlimited amount of time outside while in camp, and that versus spending 23 hours inside confinement. For every day that if inmate firefighter is on the line, they get a day off their sentence. And then on top of that, the pay is better for a prison job. So you can make $5 to $8 a day versus 15, 17, 24 cents per day doing something else.
So interesting. I bet a lot of people don't know all this. So thank you for bringing all that to our attention. What are the possibilities for these men of finding work as firefighters after their release?
So unfortunately, the pathway to employment after the program is very tough. There is a very recently, Gavin Newsom passed a law saying that, uh, so let me rewind. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So the pathway to employment is very tough because in order to become a licensed woodland firefighter, you need to have an EMT license. You cannot qualify for your EMT license if you have a felony record. So the only pathway to get that EMT license is to have your record expunged. And as we know, that can take up to 2 to 3 years to have your record expunged, and you could also be denied. So we are giving hundreds and thousands of people a skill set that is very, very needed for the state of California, and not allowing them to use it for both their benefit and the community's benefit.
Another interesting point. The cinematography is amazing, especially during the fire scenes. Where did you shoot the film, and can you speak to the challenges that you faced working within wildlife?
So we shot in about 10 minutes north of Sylmar in Angeles National Forest. And we found this location on Google Maps, and they were kind enough to let us in and to use it. And the way we shot the fire was everything you see on screen is it's created by light and smoke. So we had practical lighting units that created the flicker of the fire, and then we had practical smoke blowing through those little valley that we were shooting in, and all the flames itself were done with CGI. And to your point about the cinematography, my cinematographer's father saw the movie, and he says to him after he's seeing the movie, Ming, this is too dangerous. He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, you're too close. You don't need to put your life at risk to make these movies. He goes, Dad, it's all fake. And so I think that is, we've won an award for VFX for the film, but the comment that we get back constantly is, how did you do the fire? Is it real? For a short film using CGI fire, I think we really pulled something off in creating the sense, because something that was very important to us that we want to show is how close that these men are getting to the flames. And it's something that very, very few people have exposure to. And it's important to know that this takes a very specific type of human being to be able to do this work. And they are deserving of a future after this.
You know, your project reminds me a lot of Fire Country on CBS. Have you seen the project?
I saw the first episode. I saw the first episode because I was just kind of exploring all the different like documentaries and content that was out there regarding inmate firefighters, or specifically just wildland firefighters. And so I didn't go too deep into the show, but it was you're always in good company when there's someone else doing something in the same world as yours. And so I think the two complement each other while being very different.
Nice. And Lena Waithe, how did you get Lena Waithe involved? I saw her in the
So
credits.
Lena Waithe is, to her credit, she does this program with Hillman Grad and Indeed called Rising Voices. And Rising Voices selects 10 filmmakers from underrepresented backgrounds and gives them $100,000 to make a short film. And so a friend of mine said, like, you should really apply to this program. It's really great. Da, 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 da. I said, I have this script. I don't know if they're going to go for it. It seems really big for what they're looking for. And I was I remember sitting in the room after I got into the program, and I was sitting in the orientation with all the 10 other filmmakers, and the creativity, the ingenuity, the thoughtfulness, and the intention of each and every one of the people in the room was so clear. And it was such a humbling experience to be a part of something like this. And so I credit Lena for bringing all these people together to make these movies.
Very interesting as well. She's a powerhouse, that's for sure.
Powerhouse.
Yeah. Well, thank you ever so much again for sharing this film with me and so many. And how can our viewers and readers find out more about the film, find out more about you, social media, website, what?
I do want to mention that the movie is qualified for the Academy Awards,
That's
and
right.
so we
Congratulations.
had a
Yeah. Good
campaign.
luck with
Thank you
that.
very much.
Yes.
The movie won Best VFX at HollyShorts. It premiered at Tribeca. It just played at Newport Beach yesterday. It's going to play at Whistler Film Festival. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that.
Okay, we can knock that out.
Depending on what you really say. It's okay. But it's gonna have an international premiere in Canada. And then we have some upcoming screenings in Los Angeles and New York that are to be determined. But things are cooking and fingers crossed. So if you can't catch it at a film festival in the next year or at one of our upcoming screenings, it is available in the Academy screening room right now. And it will eventually be on Indeed's Rising Voices website. So the film will be publicly available. But I do, even if you watch it on your at home or in a theater, try to find the biggest screen you can possibly find to watch it on because it is a spectacle in itself.
Yes, I agree. And we are the Hollywood Times official on YouTube, the hollywoodtimes.today online, aspiringmagazine.com, our hard copy magazine sister publication. And thank you so much for being with us today and sharing this film.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Cheers.